Good afternoon, RhinoCats, and welcome back to Language Tuesday. When we think about language, language is just how we communicate with each other. And when we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're specifically talking about how we communicate with each other through writing. So through our complete sentences, through the vocabulary that we use. And last week, we focused on synonyms. And synonyms are words that just have a same or similar meaning. So for example, if the day is a hot day, you could call it a warm day. Warm would be a synonym or a similar meaning to hot. If it's a cool day or a cold day, you could call it a cool or cold day, right? Those are synonyms. They're similar meanings. Pretty and beautiful are synonyms. They mean the same thing. Icky, gross, they both mean the same thing. So those words would be synonyms. And we practiced that last week on IXL. This week, I want us to get into antonyms. Antonyms are the opposite of synonyms. They just mean the opposite meaning. So when you think of anti, think of not. It's not the same. It's very different. Just reviewing why this is important for us to know, why synonyms and antonyms are important, they help us to build a bigger vocabulary. We want to sound smarter when we speak or write. And it definitely, antonyms, synonyms, they create really interesting stories or arguments if we use them properly. So definitely knowing more synonyms, knowing more antonyms can make us sound and look a lot smarter and sound and look a lot more interesting. So for some examples of antonyms, the opposite of far, or an antonym for the word far, would be near or close, right? Those mean the opposite. Far is something that's ways away, right? Something that's near or close is something that is much closer to you. It's not as far away. An antonym for soft would be hard or stiff. So the opposite, something that doesn't feel soft, is going to maybe feel hard. Maybe it's going to feel stiff. An antonym for whisper, yell, scream. Right? If you're whispering, you're talking in a really low, soft voice. If you're yelling or screaming, you're doing it in a very loud voice, a very raised voice. So the opposite in meaning. Fast, an antonym for fast would be slow, right? The opposite of fast is slow. The opposite of wet, or an antonym for wet, dry. Antonym for huge, or the opposite of huge, small, tiny. All right, so what I want to do next is get into exactly what you're going to be doing for your assignments on IXL, which once again, you can find in the description underneath this video. So for my first grade friends, we are going to be choosing the antonym. We're going to be finding two antonyms, and it goes ahead and tells you that antonyms are opposites. So we're going to look for two words that mean the opposite of each other, so that have completely different meanings. So the three words that we are given to choose from are down, away, and up. So we need to choose two words that have the opposite meaning. I know that down and away aren't quite opposites. They're different directions you can go, but they're not quite extremely different. I know that down and up, however, those are opposites, right? Down means you're going down towards the floor, towards the ground. If you're going up towards the ceiling or the sky, right? So those are two completely different directions. I know that those would be my antonyms, my opposites. So you would click down and up. For my second grade friends, you're also going to be, once again, choosing the antonym. So for example, you may have a question that says, which word is an antonym or the opposite of cold? So what is the opposite of cold? I know you may not be able to see this, but this says snow. So does snow mean the opposite of cold? Well, I know that snow is cold. It's an example of something that's cold. It's not an antonym. It's not the opposite. I know that hot is the complete opposite of cold, right? If something's cold, it's very chilly. It may be snowing, right? If something's hot, It's the opposite. It may be on fire, it may be warm. So hot and cold are definitely opposites. I know that hot could be an antonym of cold, so I would click hot. And finally, for my third grade friends, choose the antonym. Which word is an antonym of many? So once again, guys, think about the definition of the word that they're giving you and what it means, and then think of the opposite. So which word is an antonym of many? I know that many means a lot, so I'm going to look for a word that means the opposite of a lot. So few or those. Few, I know, means a small amount of something, and many means a large amount of something. So that's going to be our opposite there. Those, it's definitely not the opposite meaning of many. It doesn't really have anything to do with antonyms here. So few is definitely going to be my choice here. It's going to be the opposite of many. All right, guys, good luck with your antonym work today. Just remember, antonym means opposite. So you are picking the word that is opposite in meaning. All right, good luck, and I will be in touch.